Imagine that everything you've been told about breastfeeding could be incomplete, or even wrong. Could the simple act of breastfeeding save your baby from serious illnesses, or even change the bond you will have forever? Many believe that breastfeeding is only about nourishing the baby, but here's the secret that almost no one talks about. The first days of breastfeeding are more important than you think, and getting it wrong in those first moments can impact your baby's health forever. Sounds controversial, right? It is. I'm going to tell you something that contradicts what many people think. It's not just about giving milk, but about the physical and emotional connection that transforms your child's future. And here's the good news. In just a few minutes, you'll discover what really happens in those first days of life and how to ensure that your baby has the best immunity and health. Are you ready to find out what really matters in breastfeeding and how to avoid the most common mistakes? Breast milk is considered the most complete food there is, especially in the first days of life. Benefits for the baby: strengthening the immune system, essential nutrition, emotional bonding. The first major benefit of breastfeeding for babies is that it strengthens their immune system. Breast milk contains antibodies that help protect the newborn from infections and illnesses, especially in the first few months of life, when the immune system is still developing. In addition, breast milk is perfectly balanced in terms of nutrients, providing everything the baby needs in terms of vitamins, minerals, proteins, and fats to grow strong and healthy. Breastfeeding is also essential for the baby's emotional development. The act of breastfeeding provides the little one with a feeling of security and comfort, strengthening the bond with the mother. This physical contact, the look, warmth, and smell of the mother during breastfeeding, creates an environment of closeness and affection that helps to develop trust and secure attachment. Benefits for the mother: postpartum recovery, reduced risk of illness, strengthened bond with the baby. For mothers, breastfeeding also offers a number of advantages. It helps the body recover after childbirth, as the act of breastfeeding stimulates the release of oxytocin, a hormone that helps the uterus return to its original size and reduces the risk of postpartum bleeding. In addition, breastfeeding can help burn calories, contributing to natural weight loss after pregnancy. There are also long-term benefits. Studies show that women who breastfeed have a lower risk of developing breast and ovarian cancer, as well as greater protection against osteoporosis. And, as well as for the baby, breastfeeding also strengthens the mother's emotional bond with the newborn, providing moments of intense intimacy and emotional connection. Colostrum, the baby's first food. Now let's talk about colostrum, the baby's first food. Colostrum is a thick, yellowish liquid, very rich in nutrients, which begins to be produced by the mother during pregnancy and continues to be secreted in the first few days after birth. This first milk is considered the ideal food for the newborn because, as well as being easy to digest, it is full of antibodies that help protect the baby against infections and diseases. Colostrum has a vital function. It cleanses the baby's digestive system, preparing it to receive the mature milk that will come in the following days. Although it is produced in small quantities, it is exactly what the baby needs in the first few days, as the newborn's stomach is very small and not yet ready for large volumes of food. Did you know that colostrum has antibacterial and antiviral properties? It helps protect the baby against infections and even contributes to the development of the intestine, preparing it to process the breast milk that will be produced in greater quantities later on. This is one of the reasons why it is so important to start breastfeeding as soon as possible, preferably in the first few hours after giving birth. How to prepare your breasts for breastfeeding. Many first-time mothers wonder how to prepare their breasts for breastfeeding, and this is an important question. Although the body naturally begins to prepare for breastfeeding during pregnancy, there are some precautions that can facilitate this process and prevent future discomfort. One of the main concerns is the nipples. During pregnancy and after giving birth, it is important to keep the skin of the nipples moisturized, using creams or oils recommended by a health professional. This can help prevent cracks, which are one of the main causes of pain during breastfeeding. Another tip is to expose the breasts to the open air whenever possible, as this helps the skin to stay healthy and less prone to injury. Massage techniques can also be useful for stimulating milk production before and after childbirth. Lightly massaging the breast in a circular motion can help to unclog the breast ducts and facilitate the flow of milk. Correct positioning for breastfeeding. Another crucial point for ensuring successful breastfeeding is the correct positioning of the baby during feeds. Proper latch-on is essential to avoid sore nipples and ensure that the baby is getting enough milk. There are various positions you can try for breastfeeding, such as the cradle position, where the baby is held in the mother's arms, the inverted position, which can be useful for mothers who have undergone a cesarean section, and the lying down position, which can be comfortable during nights or at rest times. One of the signs that the baby is feeding correctly is the soft sound of swallowing, with no gurgling. The baby should swallow the whole areola, not just the nipple, and the mother should feel no pain, just a slight pressure. If there is persistent pain, it may be a sign that the grip needs to be adjusted. Before continuing, don't forget to leave a like if you like the content. This helps us reach more mothers who, like you, are looking for valuable information about motherhood. The importance of skin-to-skin contact. Skin-to-skin contact between mother and baby right after birth is extremely important and helps stimulate the baby's sucking reflex. This contact, known as the golden hour, creates a welcoming and safe environment for the newborn, helping them to start breastfeeding more peacefully. For the mother, this moment is also special, because as well as stimulating the production of oxytocin, which facilitates the letting down of milk, it promotes an intense emotional connection, helping to relieve postpartum stress and strengthening the bond with the baby. Breastfeeding frequency in the first few days. In the first few days, the baby may feed quite frequently, usually 8 to 12 times a day. This is normal and necessary, as the newborn's stomach is very small and breast milk is digested quickly. Keep an eye out for signs that your baby is hungry, such as putting his hands to his mouth, sucking with his mouth, and fussing. In addition to these signs, it's important to understand that crying is a late sign of hunger. This means that if your baby is already crying, they were probably hungry before that. So keep an eye out for the more subtle signs to make sure your baby is fed before they get fussy. When it comes to frequency, it's common for some feeds to be shorter and others longer, varying according to the baby's needs at different times of the day. Another question that raises doubts is how long the baby should stay at the breast. The truth is that there is no strict rule. Some babies feed in 10 minutes, others can take up to 30 minutes or more. The most important thing is to observe the baby's behavior. If they are relaxed and show signs of satisfaction after feeding, such as letting go of the breast on their own or falling asleep, this means that they are already satisfied. If you haven't liked it yet, do it now. It helps us a lot to keep creating videos to help you on this very special journey. Common difficulties in the first days of breastfeeding. Now, let's talk about something that can be a big challenge for many mothers: difficulties in the first days of breastfeeding. You may have heard of breast engorgement, when the breasts become excessively full, painful, and even hard. This is very common in the first few days, especially when the milk starts to come down more abundantly, replacing the colostrum with mature milk. Engorgement can cause discomfort, but there are ways of relieving this sensation, such as lightly massaging the breasts, using warm compresses before feeds and cold ones afterwards, and ensuring that the baby empties each breast well during breastfeeding. Another common problem is poor latch-on. If the baby doesn't latch on correctly, he or she may find it difficult to suckle, which can result in low weight gain and even cause pain for the mother. In addition, babies who are tongue-tied may find it difficult to suckle properly. In this case, it is important to seek medical advice, as a simple assessment can help correct the problem and ensure successful breastfeeding. What about cracked or sore nipples? This is another common challenge, especially in the early days when the skin is still adapting to the constant sucking. In this case, keeping the nipples moisturized at all times with specific products and varying breastfeeding positions can go a long way towards preventing and treating this discomfort. If the pain persists or worsens, It's important to consult a professional, as it could be a sign that something needs to be adjusted in the baby's latch. Breastfeeding advice. When to seek help. Did you know that many mothers give up breastfeeding due to a lack of support and guidance? This is where the importance of enlisting the help of a lactation consultant comes in, especially if there are difficulties in the early days. A lactation consultant can help identify latch-on problems, correct positions, and even assist in more complex cases, such as severe engorgement or a baby with difficulty sucking. Sometimes small adjustments can make all the difference, and the support of a trained professional can transform the breastfeeding experience into something lighter and more pleasurable for mother and baby. So don't hesitate to seek help if you feel you're having difficulties. Breastfeeding doesn't have to be a burden, and there are solutions to practically every challenge that may arise. Hydration and feeding the mother. While breastfeeding, many mothers ask themselves, what should I eat to help with milk production? The good news is that there is no strict diet, but it is essential to maintain a balanced and varied diet, rich in fruit, vegetables, proteins, and quality carbohydrates. Foods such as oats, nuts, and seeds are known to help increase milk production, but more important than this is hydration. Breastfeeding demands a lot from the body, and losing fluids is natural during this process. So drink water regularly. A good tip is to always have a small bottle of water nearby during feeds, as many mothers feel thirsty while breastfeeding. Breastfeeding on demand. What it is and how it works. Breastfeeding on demand means allowing your baby to feed whenever they want, without following strict schedules. This method is highly recommended, especially in the first few months, because it respects the baby's natural needs. Contrary to what some people may believe, there is no such thing as spoiling the baby by letting it suckle whenever it feels like it. In fact, this practice strengthens the bond between mother and child and ensures that the baby receives all the milk it needs to grow up healthy. When the baby feeds on free demand, it also helps regulate the mother's milk production, ensuring that her body produces the right amount according to the baby's needs. In this way, free demand not only meets the baby's hunger and need for comfort, but also helps the mother to establish and maintain good milk production. Emotional and practical support during breastfeeding. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about the emotional and practical support the mother needs during this period. Breastfeeding can be challenging, and having a support network is essential. The partner, family, and friends can help not only with words of encouragement, but also with practical actions, such as looking after the house, preparing meals, and even ensuring that the mother has moments to rest and take care of herself. The role of the partner, in particular, is very important. They can help ensure that the mother has a peaceful environment in which to breastfeed, offer emotional support, and even participate in the moment with affection and words of encouragement. When the mother feels supported, it's easier to deal with the challenges of breastfeeding and continue to offer the best for the baby. If you liked this video, please like it and share it with other mothers who need this information. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe now so you don't miss out on the next videos and continue to follow this incredible journey of motherhood.